Hi and welcome to the Belfry. This is the beautiful Brabazon golf course. My name is Chris Ryan, and in this video we're addressing the issue of hitting the ground before the ball with your iron clubs. Now, just before we go into the video and go through exactly what I want you to do, in the corner of the screen you should have the details for my social media accounts, so if you don't already, please go ahead and follow me on those. So this video is in response to a comment on one of my other YouTube videos from a user called Ruby Later. Hopefully I've pronounced that correctly. And they were commenting about hitting the irons fat or heavy and wanting some advice or some help on how they could improve this. So what do we mean by hitting the ball fat or heavy? Well, what we really mean is that the golf club is going to hit the ground before the golf ball. And what this does is, as you can imagine, it probably takes a lot of speed out of the golf ball. It therefore takes a lot of distance out of the shot, and often we can get a little bit of directional issues as well, because by the time the club does make contact with the ball, sometimes the club face has changed its orientation, and certainly it's an issue we'd like to address. So there can be many ways why we hit the ground early, but what we're going to do in this video is we're going to hopefully give this golfer a fairly simple idea that they can use during practice, which might help them rectify the issue. So what we're going to go through first is exactly what I often see the cause of these heavy shots. I would generally see the approach to the golf ball too shallow. So what that means is that the golf club reaches its lowest point too early in the golf swing, and therefore we have a greater chance of making contact with the ground before the ball. If we don't make contact with the ground before the ball, we'll often hit the bottom of the golf club and we hit top shots. So having this shallow approach where the lowest part of the swing happens too early will generally give heavy or thin shots, and you'll find as the golfer you'll generally fall into one of those two categories. It sounds like this golfer's falling into the one where they hit the ground early. Now, why do we have this shallow approach? Well, very often it's because we don't shift enough pressure onto this lead side in the downswing, and so when we're delivering the club to the golf ball, we have too much weight or too much pressure on this back leg. What that does, it makes it very difficult to have the handle forwards, and if we struggle to get the handle forwards, we struggle to get the low point target side of the ball. So the drill today, and what we want this golfer to do, is really have an idea or change their focus point through the golf swing. And what that's going to do is hopefully going to start to sort of improve a few of these ideas. We could give this golfer some technical information about maybe how to shift pressure, when that should happen, where the low point should be, etc, but that can often lead to a lot of swing thoughts and often a sort of stifled golf swing where it's not as smooth. So the idea in this video is to give this golfer something which is quite practical and quite simple, and I call this a task change. So we're going to set a task, and in order to achieve that task we have to make some of the moves that we would like to see, and that's hopefully going to help us strike that golf ball a little bit better. So I've got my golf ball very fractionally teed up, and if you're going to do this I would suggest you do the same at your practice area. And just in front of the golf ball, just over the width of a club head, I've placed another tee peg in the ground, and it's only just in the ground, so it's only just sort of as if I'm hitting an iron shot off there. The idea is I want this golfer to try and hit some golf shots during practice where they try and hit the golf ball that they're obviously addressed to, but also hit the tee peg that's in the ground some 6 to 7 inches target side of the golf ball. Now, if they leave their pressure or their weight on their back leg, the club hits the ground early or it's too shallow, we may well make some contacts with this golf ball that are okay, but we're going to get a very high ball flight, and the golf club post impact is going to be ascending. It's going to be working away from the ground, and it's going to be almost impossible to make contact with that second tee peg. So in order for this golfer to make contact with that second tee peg, which is the task, we would generally see that golfer start to shift some pressure more towards the lead side and start to rotate the body a little bit better to enable the hands to arrive in front of the golf ball. That will then allow them to hit the golf ball and the tee peg. Now, I wouldn't expect this golfer to be able to do this straight away within 1 or 2 swings, but if we can start to have a practice session where we do this and we can start to make maybe some slower golf swings initially and move more towards full speed, we should find that it encourages us to do some of the things that we would like to do in the golf swing. If we can get the pressure on this lead side at impact, we can get the handle forwards, we would generally find that the low point is target side of the ball, and that is really the key to eliminating the heavy or the fat shots. So let me have a go. I've got a 6 iron here. So really it's a focus drill. My focus is on making contact with the golf ball, yes, but also hitting the second tee peg that's in the ground. So having that focus is hopefully going to help me move myself into some more desirable positions. Okay, and I'll be very, very happy with that shot. You can see there that the divot I took was after the golf ball, and I've actually hit the second tee peg. That is absolutely perfect. That is exactly what I'm trying to do. So if you feel like you're hitting the ground before the ball, you're hitting heavy shots or fat shots, you're losing all your distance, we probably need to start to get you a little bit more onto your lead side of impact and start to steepen the approach to the golf ball. This little exercise is a fantastic way for you to start to move towards that without having too many technical ideas, too many swing thoughts, which can often, say, stifle the golf swing and make it a lot more difficult to make a smooth swing. Try this in practice and hopefully you will hit the ball a little bit crisper. It'll definitely go a little bit further and you'll probably find it'll be on a slightly better ball flight. Hopefully that helps. If it did, please hit the like button. If you've got any comments, post those in the boxes down below. I'll do my very best to respond to as many as I can. And last thing, if you haven't already, please click the link in the description box down below to subscribe. Loads more content on my channel and more being uploaded weekly. Clicking that link just means you won't miss out on any of those new videos. Thanks again for watching and hopefully we'll see you again soon.